Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another video. You read the title. It's a question. Did Steph Curry carry Kevin Durant? What if I flipped it around? Did Kevin Durant carry Steph Curry? There are people who think one of those questions is factual. I saw this tweet a few days ago. Now, it's from a LeBron fan, but he said, "I'm sorry, but KD is such an overrated playoff performer. Without Golden State, he's been a playoff dropper almost his whole career." Now, obviously, KD's never won a championship without the Warriors. But to say he's a playoff dropper outside of them, immediately you'd think that can't be true. When I think playoff dropper, I think James Harden, Joel Embiid, even though injuries play a role in that, but still. Heck, even Kyrie, since he left Cleveland, you could consider a playoff dropper. But Kevin Durant, before this year, and other than the 3-1 series lead, there's like zero playoff dropping moments, right? Well, let's take a look at it and see if this dude is correct. 2010 was the first year KD and the Thunder made the playoffs. They were the 8th seed. In the regular season, KD averaged 30-7 on 47-36 shooting splits. However, against the defending champion Lakers, KD struggled, averaging just 25-7 on 35-28 shooting splits. That is a ginormous drop from the regular season. However, you obviously can't just go off 1 year. In 2011, KD led the Thunder to the 4th seed this time, once again leading the league in scoring, averaging 27 and just under 7 rebounds this year on 46-35 shooting splits. In the playoffs this year, he would have a major bounce back from the year before. Through the first 2 rounds, he averaged 29-7 on 45-38 shooting splits to lead the Thunder to the Western Conference Final, including 39 points and 9 rebounds on 52% shooting in Game 7 against Memphis. Unfortunately though, in the conference finals, after 40 points in Game 1 and 24 in Game 2 with the series tied 1-1, KD averaged just 25 on 37% shooting the rest of the series as the Thunder lost in 5. So the last 3 games, definitely a drop. But for the whole playoffs, he averaged 28-7 on 44-32 splits. He had a good playoffs in all. Because remember y'all, technically like everybody's playoff numbers drop. It's just about how drastic the drop is. And so for the 2011 playoffs, KD did good, no drop. In 2012, the Thunder were the 2nd seed. KD averaged 28-8 on 49-38 shooting splits. And obviously in the playoffs, he did not disappoint. He led the Thunder to the finals. Even though they lost to the Heat, he was still the leading scorer of the finals for both teams. He still played great. He finished the playoffs averaging 28-7 on 51-37 shooting splits. His efficiency actually went up in the playoffs, which is rare to happen. So obviously, KD had a terrific 2012 playoffs. No drop there. 2013, KD and the Thunder had another terrific season. Thunder won 60 games, were the 1st seed in the West. KD averaged 28-8 again, this time on 51-41-90 shooting. However, Russell Westbrook would get injured in the playoffs, and so after beating Houston in the first round, OKC lost to Memphis in 5, and KD did not have a very efficient series, especially in the last 2 games. He averaged 24-7-6, but on just 31% shooting in the last 2 games. So in total in the playoffs, he averaged 39-6 on 45-31 shooting splits, but he didn't go out strong against Memphis without Westbrook. So this is kind of similar to 2011, except of course Westbrook was missing. 2014, KD's MVP season where the Thunder were the 2nd seed. He averaged 32-7-5 on 50-39 shooting, and with Westbrook healthy, they would make the conference finals again, but this time they'd lose to the Spurs. Despite the loss though, KD played well start to finish in these playoffs. Game 7 against the Grizzlies, he had 33-8 efficiently. In Game 6 against the Clippers, he had 39-16-5 efficiently. Even in the elimination games against the Spurs, he played well. They just lost to the better team. KD finished the playoffs averaging 29-9 on 46-34 shooting. Once again, technically the numbers drop, but it would be a reach to call this playoff run a drop for KD. In 2015, of course, KD would deal with injuries and the Thunder would miss the playoffs, and so 2016, Regular season, Thunder were the 3rd seed. KD averaged 28, 8, and 5 on 50-38 shooting splits. And for the first 2 rounds and 4 games of the playoffs, he kept that up for the most part. But then, of course, the Thunder blew a 3-1 lead. In games 5 and 6, he shot a combined 35% from the field, 21% from 3. We all remember the disastrous ending of game 6. And then in game 7, he had 27 and 7 on good efficiency, but that's a Chris Paul type game. If you watch the game, you know he may have nice stats, but he didn't do what you needed him to do. So he finishes the 2016 playoffs averaging 28 and 7 on 43-28 shooting. Definitely a drop. Of course, next season he goes to the Warriors, and playing with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, his playoff numbers drastically improve, which once again is rare. KD was 1% away from 2 50-40-90 playoff runs, which were multiple rounds long. That's ridiculous. The perks of playing with the 2 best shooters ever as opposed to Russell Westbrook. But then, of course, KD leaves the Warriors and goes to the Nets. 2021, obviously, no debate. He was fantastic all playoffs. First round, second round. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, he went 0 for 6 in OT. But there is absolutely zero way you can argue his play dropped. Unfortunately, though, this past season, it was the complete opposite. In the regular season, he averaged 29, 7, and 6, a career high in assists on 51 and 38 splits. But then in the playoffs, he had the worst series of his career, getting swept for the first time, averaging 26, 5, and 6 on 38% from the field, 33 from 3. If you watch the series, you know it looked much more atrocious than the stats would tell you. He averaged over 5 turnovers a game in the series. It was terrible. Obviously a drop. But that brings us back to the point of this video, that tweet. Without Golden State, he's been a playoff dropper almost his whole career. According to my research, that is factually incorrect, because Kevin Durant has played in the playoffs 8 seasons outside of Golden State, and there is only 3 of them at the most that I can look at and say his performance dropped. 2022 obviously, 2016 obviously, the last 3 games, and the last 3 games in 2013. 3 times out of 8 is not almost his whole career. Obviously, Kevin Durant has never won a championship without the Warriors, and he hasn't been back to the finals since 2012 without the Warriors. But to say he's been a playoff dropper outside of the Warriors for most of his career, that's false. And to act like his rings and finals MVPs are completely illegitimate just because he went to the Warriors is also wrong in my opinion. I get it, it was a weak move and they wrecked the competition, but he still got the job done. He still went and averaged great stats in those playoff runs and in those finals. He still went and won the championship. As we know, y'all, it's not every time a super team is assembled that they just go run through the playoffs and win the championship. So whether you like it or not, KD has gotten the job done in the playoffs, and he should get some respect for it. Obviously, he's going to have to win another ring, not on a super team, for more people to respect him, but he's already got to. Whether you like it or not, he has to. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos like this. And yeah, I'll see y'all later.